A lot of other strange fights. Something always happens strange when he fights. I think it's going to happen again tonight.
And tonight he takes on the very large Garing Lane.
Well, they're trying to build a lane that he can fit through, Sam.
Garing Lane is 5'10", 270 pounds. A true heavyweight.
Mr. Snipes, the one-time heavyweight contender, who's back after a 2-year layoff. He'll be taking on Garing Lane. That's coming up next on Fight Night. To boxing fans, Renaldo Mr. Snipes. He turned pro back in November of 1978. He fought for the heavyweight championship in November of 1981 after he had won 22 consecutive fights. He was 22-0, fought Larry Holmes, had Holmes down, but after Holmes staggered around the ring, he got up and the fight continued, and then he knocked out Renaldo Snipes. But Renaldo Mr. Snipes is back in action tonight after a 2-year layoff. The last time he fought was May 18th of 1990. That right hand to the body of Jamie Howe turned out to be a broken right hand for Renaldo Snipes. He had it in the ice bucket after the 10-round decision victory. You see the pins in the hand of Renaldo Snipes? That's how it was fixed. He's been off for 2 years, claiming the top heavyweights won't fight him. Well, we'll see. He is back in action tonight as we await his arrival in the ring. He's taking on Garing Lane. And my feelings about Renaldo Mr. Snipes, Gil, at almost 36 years of age, you have to wonder what he has left. There is Garing Lane, who most recently has been the sparring partner of Razor Ruddock, and prior to that with Mike Tyson. Garing Lane weighed in at 270 pounds today.
He's quite a big man, Sam.
He has a new trainer, Joe Wright, who has been right behind him there, and has been working on getting him to step in behind his punches and use that big body and use the power.
Well, it depends again on how long Lane has been boxing. If he's been boxing as an amateur and then so many pro fights, it's kind of tough to teach a guy new tricks.
Only had one amateur fight before turning pro.
Then he does have a chance to be taught. We'll see. And again, he picked tough guys to work as sparring partners for in Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock. I mean, he has to be able to take care of himself to be in the ring with those kind of guys.
And here comes Renaldo Snipes, who is 35 years old. He will be 36 on August the 15th. And getting back to our comments about him, you know, he keeps claiming they're ducking him, and yet he turned down $400,000 a couple of years ago to fight Mike Tyson. Passed up a big opportunity, which went to Alex Stewart.
As you know, I spoke to him earlier today. I said the manager should get the most he can for his fighter for a fight. But when it's an opportunity, for example, if you're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world or any championship, again, you get the most money you can, but you never walk away from the fight. They told him it was $400,000. That was the best they could do. He didn't agree with that. If he had the confidence in himself that he could beat Mike Tyson, the $400,000 would have been chicken feed for his next fight. But apparently, for whatever reason, they didn't think they were getting paid enough, and they turned the fight down.
Let's get the introductions from Ken French.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee for this bout is Don Hayes. It's a 10-round heavyweight fight in the blue corner with a professional record of 9 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, 4 wins by knockout from Plantation, Florida. In the blue corner, Garing Lane. In the red corner, with a professional record of 37, 7, and 1, 21 wins by knockout from Yonkers, New York at 226 pounds. In the red corner, Renaldo Mr. Snipes.
Don Hayes with the final instructions. Renaldo Snipes, who has stayed in the gym. He works very hard in the community. He's very active and has stayed in relatively good shape. As they talk about him coming back in comparison to George Foreman and Larry Holmes, he says, hey, look, I'm 226. I've stayed in pretty good shape compared to those guys who are a lot heavier. But as I mentioned, I think he's lived off that knockdown of Larry Holmes for a long time.
Well, he almost was the heavyweight champion of the world.
Garing Lane, very, very big. Very heavy with the rolls of fat coming over the trunks.
Well, you wanted to know where that weight was, that 270 pounds. Sam.
There it is.
Now you see where it is. But you know, as George Foreman said during the Holyfield Holmes fight, he said he liked Holmes' chances because he had some fat on him, some liquid in his body. Now we have a lot of humidity down here. Do you think that's going to help Garing Lane?
I don't know.
He's got plenty of liquid in his body.
Snipes has landed the left hook and a jab to the body. Should also mention that Garing Lane has sparred with Tommy Morrison. Morrison coming up on a fight with Joe Hip. So Lane has sparred with some good ones. He says Tyson is the best and Razor Ruddock next.
And I don't think he's far wrong, Sam.
Chopping right hand by Lane. Garing Lane turned pro in 1987. A little discrepancy in the records. The record announced is 9-7-1. He claims to have 2 more wins in bouts in Florida that were not recorded in the Ralph Citro records, which are used by Madison Square Garden boxing.
But you know, he comes from Florida, Sam. How did Don Shula miss him as a nose guard?
Lane backing up Snipes and banging the body pretty good.
Snipes showed me a lot of courage when he fought the Ploy from South Africa, when he had that terrible cut in his mouth. I don't know how come the referee didn't stop it, but he fought that way with that mouth bleeding, and he won the fight. Stopped the Ploy.
Lane being cautioned to keep his punches up, but he's thrown a couple of good body shots in there that have been above the belt line. End of round 1.
You know,
set for round 2, scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. That's Renaldo Snipes walking out to meet Garing Lane. Lane's trainer Joe Wright told us this morning he'd like to get Garing Lane down to 255. Feels that would be a decent weight for him to fight at. I would think at 5'10", he could stand to lose more than just 15 pounds, more like about 40 pounds. Lane did have a good run in France where he won 5 of 6 fights. Had a good stretch where he was fighting overseas.
Well, Snipes now is just throwing punches to score points. It's what he should do.
And he's trying to work the body. And Lane banging away with the right hand. Lane has been on the borderline. Now he's going to get another warning from Don Hayes. Been on the borderline. Hayes, the referee, feels he's a little low. Certainly not intentional. I think Lane has been trying to work that body on Snipes pretty well. I don't know if this is going to be a crowd-pleasing fight.
Well, the strategy is for Snipes to score points But Garing Lane is supposed to get on the inside and then start to tear Snipes up, but so far he's been a reluctant drag, and then Snipes ties him up on the inside.
Haven't seen Snipes throw the big right hand a lot.
Well, he's got a tough target there, Sam.
Lane banging again to the body whenever the opportunity presents itself. Snipes smart to avoid that left. Good duck in time.
No, Lane may be down to that 255 by the end of this fight, Sam.
Should we weigh him in after the fight? Late in round 2.
Let's take a look at that flurry by Garing Lane at the end of the round, very end of the round. So far, it's the biggest action in the fight. Punching to the body. There's a good straight jab and a good right hand, both on the chin of Snipes. And you can see Snipes did not like to take that punishment.
And after what I thought was a pretty close round, I gave it to Garing Lane, and I've given him each of the first 2 rounds. 10-9, very close in both rounds. You, Gil?
I scored the first round even, and I gave the second round to Snipes because I figured for 2 minutes and 40 seconds he was scoring the most punches, and Lane did make a showy finish at the very end. And you know, Snipes doesn't look like he likes too much pressure or body or punishment Sam, at the moment. But you know, he's always been a strange character in the ring.
One thing I'm seeing, Gil, is he's tapping with the right hand when he throws it. He's not throwing. That's the hand that was broken against Jamie Howe 2 years ago. Had the pins put in it.
And Sam, no matter how much a fighter tells you, oh, I've used it in the gym and it's fine, it feels great, it feels better than new. I've seen so many guys, they'll tell you, then they'll fight a fight, and after the fight they say, well, yeah, I was tentative with the right hand.
He's thrown 5 consecutive left hands, worked the body well, and that right, all right, there's a good right hand. But mostly he's been pawing with the right hand when he throws it. Snipes with a good jab. He's been good with a jab, and he's been good with a hook to the body, as Renaldo Snipes.
And Lane just keeps following him around the ring. Got him in the corner now.
Lane getting in a couple of shots to the body.
And Snipes grimaces when he gets hit with a punch. Well, he's always done that. He's like it's like a Shakespearean play when you watch your Snipes fight.
Good combinations. And now it looked like Snipes may have turned his left ankle. He seemed to...
He's limping, Sam.
Yeah.
Again.
He's keeping the left foot flat-footed. It looked like he may have twisted his left ankle. Still popping the jab pretty well. I don't know if Garing Lane stepped on his left foot, but if he did, then you know that Snipes is hurting. Lane plodding along, chasing after Renaldo Snipes. Lane again with a strong finish. I don't know if that will influence the judge's decision on the round, but again, Lane coming on strong the final seconds of the round as he did in round 2.
Well, I gave Lane that round. I thought he was doing fairly well in the middle of the round.
See, now I gave the round to Snipes.
Well, there you go, Sam.
He's been to work. He's been to work.
Three more great prizes from the Exchange Club. And get your tickets in the just inside the front lobby of the Exchange Club booth.
Spin around like you get up good. Yeah. If you get good, you gotta get up a little more. You know what I mean?
Well, Snipes seems to want the work. Says, I need the rounds.
Well, I hope he's confident that he wins the rounds that he needs.
This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Renaldo Snipes and Garing Lane. Renaldo Snipes, who has competed against some very prominent names aside from Larry Holmes in the title shot in 1981, fought Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in 81, Harry Coetzee in 81, and won decisions over both. Lost a decision to Tim Witherspoon, won a decision over Trevor Berbick, both in 82. Lost decisions to Greg Page and Terrell Biggs, and lost the decision to Orland Norris. Snipes has been pretty effective with his jab, Gil.
Yes, but he hasn't landed a real solid, hard punch in the entire fight. And any of the hard punches that have been landed in the fight have been landed by Lane.
Now Snipes is warned to keep his punches up, and I thought he was over the belt line with the right to the body.
And Lane is really digging those body shots in there. You know, you watch Snipes' face and you wonder what kind of fight you're watching. I mean, he shows pain. Uppercut by Garing Lane. Tried the same combination again.
Snipes trying to work that body. Very rotund body of Garing Lane. Lane, a very flabby 270 pounds. Fought as high as 279, so that left was a little low.
Nice combination of Sam. Clean punches, hard punches.
Straight right hand by Snipes, and he winced when he threw the right hand. I wonder if it's still not giving him some pain, causing him pain. Lane banging the body, and Snipes finishing with a left hook. Good right hand by Lane, and Snipes answered. Solid action, and Lane lands the right hand. They've gone back and forth with some solid punches in this 4th round. Again, Lane trying to finish with a flurry, as he has in the last couple of rounds, and he does at the bell. Does it get him the scoring of the judges? It's Joe Wright in his corner.
Please welcome from the knockout, Amanda Hewitt. Amanda Hewitt. Thanks for the responses
Solid punches by both big heavyweights in this exchange. There you see Garing Lane winging away.
There's Garing Lane.
Two stiff jabs to get
Wright in his corner.
And hit the body and hit the head. And if he holds you, hit him with that right hand. He holds you. You're hurting him, but just step in a little bit more. You're a little bit more. Step in a little closer with the right. Step in. Work close. A little close. Step in. Cut his left eye. Work on his left eye too. Step in, bro.
Joe Wright is a former New England boxing commissioner, now training Garing Lane. This is round 5. How do you have it scored through 4, Gil?
I have Snipes ahead 2 rounds to 1 and 1 even.
I've got the fight dead even.
Sam, we've had a lot of rounds in both fights where you don't see any real dominating rounds at all.
The action is picked up here a little bit as they work toe-to-toe. They've taken turns banging each other hard to the body. Snipes using the left well. Snipes really going hard to the midsection. Lane trying to answer back. Snipes just seems to be throwing more punches than Lane.
Oh yeah, and they are clean, solid punches to the body. Lane.
Now the big men seem to be wearing down a little bit. Now there's a little abrasion under the left eye of Renaldo Snipes. Comes with the uppercut. I think those flurries may have taken a little bit out of the big men.
And again, with this heat and humidity, Sam, two big guys, two big strong guys, and they're pushing each other around. Stamina can be a big factor in this fight.
How tough is it for Snipes with a man 45 pounds heavier leaning on him?
Very, very tough, Sam. Very tough. And you notice that Snipes is not using his legs at all. Against a bigger, slower man, he's staying right there.
Snipes swinging with both hands. Lane has not thrown that many punches in this round. Gets in one.
You keep waiting for Lane to open up, because when he does open up, he's very, very effective. But he's just not doing it enough.
Lane has finished the last 3 rounds with flurries.
Snipes is not throwing that right hand with any confidence at all,
No.
Sam.
No authority. Final seconds of round 5. And Gil Clancy ringside here at the King Street Palace in Charleston, South Carolina. Glad you're with us for Fight Night. In the gold trunks, Renaldo Mr. Snipes, one-time heavyweight contender in the early 80s. Fighting for the first time in 2 years, the very big man, flabby, Garing Lane at 270 pounds. He's hung in there toe-to-toe with Snipes.
Well, you asked me about the weight disparity. Is it tough on Snipes? In the corner, Snipes looked very, very weary, very tired. But again, he has tremendous heart, Renaldo Snipes. He can always bring it out of himself when he has to.
Lane's most recent fight was in February of this year when he stopped Melvin Epps. It was a fight in Sarasota, Florida. Snipes has been good with a jab. Snipes. That was Garing Lane with a good right to the body on the ropes and a good left to the body. He's landed some good body shots.
That left hook was a beauty to the body. Now Snipes is pushing the bigger man away. Sam, as I said, anytime Renaldo Snipes gets into a fight, it's always a strange fight. I mean, he did something that was very strange there. He threw both hands out one at a time, very, very slowly. Sometimes you wonder what goes through his mind.
All right, Gil, here's Renaldo Snipes, who is in pretty good shape. At age 35, he'll be 36 in August. Can a fight like this do anything for him? Will any of the top contenders look at him and say, okay, I'll take on Renaldo Snipes?
Yeah, I think it's possible, Sam. I really do. I think this is the kind of fight that one of the guys may say, okay, he's just far enough over the hill that I can fight him. Good uppercut by Snipes, and Garing Lane answers.
Working in close. This round, it's Snipes who isn't throwing that many punches. with Lane just standing there.
And Snipes is bruised pretty much under that left eye.
Two big men who's starting to wear down here in the 6th round. Snipes working the uppercut on the inside. Late in the 6th. Getting set for round 7 of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. Renaldo Snipes and Garing Lane. Been no knockdowns. Lane seems to finish every round in the final seconds with a flurry, perhaps hoping to steal the round.
How have you got it scored so far?
I've got it even.
And I have it 4-1-1 Snipes.
Okay. That's a good right hand by Snipes.
But he threw it from an awkward position, Sam. He didn't throw it with the palm down. He didn't throw it the way way a good fighter throws a right hand.
Think it still bothers him?
I certainly think it does. I don't think he has the confidence to throw it. It may be okay, but he's the guy has to believe it, you know?
Good work by both men on the inside. Now there's a cut over the left eye of Renaldo Snipes to the left side, the blood dripping down the left side of his face. But Snipes stepped back from that last exchange, and notice the blood. It's a chopping right hand by Snipes. I think the hardest he's thrown the right has been to the body. Maybe because it has that soft cushion to land on. Lane banging the body hard. And frees up his hands. He's really banging. Snipes answering. Here's some good action. Snipes backing up. Lane pulling him back for that weight advantage.
And one of Snipes' problems when he gets hit with a punch, he makes a face like he's in pain, and that can affect the judges quite a bit.
Work by Snipes to the body with the left hand. He was borderline with one. Keeps banging the body.
Again, Lane, in my opinion, is just not busy enough to give any rounds. He tries to steal them with a quick flurry, but Snipes is working and working and working.
Actually, I think Lane has made Snipes work this round.
Well, because he walks right in. I mean, you have to do something if the guy walks in.
Lane doing a lot of leaning on Snipes. Good uppercut by Snipes. That was with the right hand. Final seconds of the round. Let's watch Lane. I think the crowd is anticipating a big finish, but he's not getting. Yeah, there it is. There's a flurry to finish with a right left and a solid right hand at the bell, and that staggers Renaldo Snipes. Oh man! A big flurry at the bell. Is Snipes acting?
No, he wasn't acting, Sam, and if Lane comes right out and flurries in the beginning of the round, the way he did at the end, let's take a look at that flurry. There's that right hand on the chin. And there's a big right hand on the chin, and that's the one that did the damage.
Now that round, I think, will totally belong to Renaldo Snipes. Does Lane steal it here with his flurry?
That effective flurry, in my opinion, would give Lane that round. And again, if Lane comes right out now, Sam, instead of waiting for those last 5 seconds and just grits his teeth, I think he might have a good chance to get Renaldo out of there. Shakespearean play.
That's right.
By Snipes, we know that.
Little acting job by Renaldo. Trying to make Lane think he's hurt, but Lane frees his hands and looking to bang Renaldo. And maybe Renaldo is hurt. The cut is open. He's covering up, and Snipes is in danger here. Lane looking for an opening. Good uppercut. That cut is wide open over the left eye. Snipes is in serious trouble. Don Hayes stepping in, looking at Snipes, looking at the cut, and giving him a standing 8 count. Which got him some extra time. Garing Lane set to come back. The cut really open now, bleeding down the left side of the face of Renaldo Snipes.
Well, here you'll see the courage of Renaldo Snipes. If he's the Renaldo Snipes that I remember. Took a lot of punishment, though, from Garing Lane. Now he knows enough to get off those ropes and out of that corner.
Bad cut over the left eye of Renaldo Snipes. Lane stalking Snipes, landing the right hand, which Snipes ties up. Warning to Garing Lane from referee Don Hayes. Snipes popping the jab and trying to stay away from the plodding, stalking Garing Lane. But Lane has already built up a big advantage in this round, forcing the standing 8 count.
And Lane is coming in wide open, hands down, just walking after. Anytime he puts that right foot in front of his left foot, he's vulnerable. And he's just walking after Snipes. Watch this, look at this march. Right, left, right.
Lane is tired, he's breathing heavily, and Snipes is staying away from him smartly. And using the jab to try and get himself back into this fight. And keep himself in this fight. Lane can't even pick his arms up to block those punches. Snipes coming back, not much on the punches, but definitely scoring. Final seconds of the 8th round. Lane trying to get that final flurry in and throws one more right at the bell. A very tired Garing Lane staggers into his corner, not hurt, just tired, almost exhausted.
Don't let him off the hook. Deep breath. 2 jabs and a body shot.
Please welcome Charleston knockout,
2 jabs until the body
Cindy
shot.
Donnelly.
He's moving to survive, but he's grabbing it. Come on.
Look at that punishment that Snipes is taking in the beginning of the round. But Sam, after this first 15 seconds,
One body to the head.
he got a standing 8 count, Snipes. That was the difference in the round.
One body to head. One body to head. Don't let him steal it on you. Take him out. Shot punches. Every punch shot. Shot.
All right, Renaldo Snipes has collected himself. Garing Lane comes out stalking once again in round 9. How do you have it scored through 8, Gil?
I have it 4-3-1 Snipes, and I had to give Lane that last round because Snipes received the standing 8 count. But after the first 20 seconds of the round, I think it was all Snipes. Again, that's a testimony to his courage. He has plenty of courage.
I've got Lane ahead by 1 point as well, as we're in the 9th round.
It's not as well, Sam. I have Snipes.
Oh, you have Snipes ahead by 1 point. I'm
do.
sorry. I've got Lane ahead by 1. Very close fight. 2 rounds to go. Snipes cut over the left eye, popping the jab and trying to stay away from Garing Lane, who is very, very tired. Pretty smart moves by Snipes to collect himself and then to use the ring.
Well, he's using the ring, Sam. He's using that left jab, left hook. And Garing Lane just doesn't seem to have the energy to really jump on him and get him out of there.
The overweight Garing Lane at 270 pounds when he started the action tonight is wearing down, though he did have a big flurry late in the 7th and early in the 8th.
Snipes is doing all the scoring now in this round up to this point. They did a good job on the cut in the Snipes corner.
See, here's a situation, Gil, where look at Garing Lane, who has been a sparring partner for most of his pro career, and he's got a chance to win this fight, but he doesn't have enough to go for it right now.
Well, so many times I've called fighters, they get sparring partner mentality, Sam. They just don't believe in themselves enough to go out and win a fight. They're tough guys and everything, but they get that mentality. They just don't know how to take over.
And credit Renaldo Snipes. You're seeing him come back from virtually being out on his feet and very close to losing this fight to having it stopped. He is using the ring on the very heavy Garing Lane, forcing him to move around with him.
Good left hook.
Lane is tiring and Snipes is scoring. I think Snipes has fought his best since the standing 8 count.
Yes, he has. He won that entire round after the standing 8 count, and now he's winning this round all by himself.
Lane, mouth wide open, breathing heavily. Lands a right hand. Final seconds of the 9th round.
Inning here.
Around. There have been no knockdowns. One standing 8. That was to Renaldo Snipes early in the 8th round. I've got the fight all even, Gil. You?
I have it 5-3 Snipes, 5-3-1. I just think he's been the more active of the two guys. Lane would always come up with those rallies at the end of a round, but you got to remember that's only 10 seconds. A round is 3 minutes long.
Snipes jabbing and moving. Lane trying to land a big bomb. Snipes cut over the left eye.
The way Lane is marching in, when he moves that right foot in front of the left foot, he's not in any position to punch. You got to skip in. You can't walk in.
Snipes using those years of experience. He has been fighting professionally since November of 1978. And putting all those years of experience into this fight. His first in 2 years. Still to come, our featured event, Lamar Kidfire Parks taking on Jose Luis Lopez, middleweight bout. Parks ranked #1 in the world by the WBA, #2 by the WBC and IBF in the middleweight division. Right here, late in this fight.
Sam, this is the typical example of what we had mentioned in the last round about sparring partner mentality. Here's a guy that is fighting Renaldo Snipes, has a reputation, and ever since the standing 8 count, he just hasn't shown any fire whatsoever, none.
Hasn't gone and gotten the victory. He had victory within his grasp, and it appears it may have slipped away. There's still time. Snipes has been very, very smart the last 3 rounds. And has made the big man move a lot. The bigger man, I should say, or the heavier man, anyway. Snipes, who is staying in good condition, still has good legs. And he has used the ring in the last 3 rounds.
And scoring points, in and out.
Jab to bother Lane. Lane landing a right hand, follows with a left hook, slows Snipes down, has him planted for a chance to land some big punches. The uppercut by Garing Lane. Snipes has got to get out of there. He's in trouble. Final seconds of the fight.
And Garing Lane, I think that was the final hurrah. Again, a brief flurry. Rest of the round didn't do a thing.
And that's it. Tough 10-rounder. The overweight Garing Lane. Back into his corner. Renaldo Snipes, arms raised. Crowd not liking the fact that he got on the bicycle in the last most of the last 3 rounds.
Well, Sam, he came in with a reputation. He had fought so many of the top guys. He was a top contender himself, fought for the title. And they expected a lot out of him, and they just didn't get it. That's why, really, I think, why they're booing.
And how did you score it?
6-3-1 Snipes.
You went for a 3-point win. I went for a 1-point win for Snipes. I think he pulled it out. Not only with the last 2 rounds, I think he closed that round where he took the standing 8 by finishing strong, and either, in my mind, wound up with losing by 1 instead of 2, or maybe with the judges got an even round.
Yeah, well, I gave Lane a 1-point round because the Snipes won the entire rest of that round. Not with big punches, but with scoring punches.
And you know what? For 2 years off, Renaldo Snipes looked pretty good.
Well,
against a plodding opponent, certainly not a top-notch heavyweight by any means in Garing Lane, but Snipes able to survive the 10 rounds, talking to some of the fans at ringside. He needed the work. Garing Lane needs to lose some weight. He worked well at times on the inside with some good shots and some brief flurries late in the rounds.
Yeah, when he turned it on, he was very effective, but he just couldn't keep that pace up. He had 10-second flurry, then he had to go back into his shell or walk after the guy without using any energy.
All right, Ken French has the cards.
Decision.
A split decision.
Judge Ray Heatley scores it. Snipes 98, Lane 93. Judge Harold Schultz scores the fight. Lane 96, Snipes 94. Judge Lawrence Punt scores the fight. Snipes 97, Lane 95. Your winner, Renaldo.
Crowd doesn't like it, but Renaldo Snipes has pulled out a split decision. One judge going big for Renaldo Snipes at 98-93, but I think the scoring of the other 2 judges very close. One giving it to Garing Lane, 96-94, 6 rounds to 4. The other going to Renaldo Snipes, 97-95. Renaldo Snipes returns after a 2-year layoff and wins a split decision over Garing Lane. The crowd not pleased with the decision. Did not like the performance of Renaldo Snipes, but it's a win for Renaldo.
Terrell Murray in a scheduled 10-rounder from the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
His 24-1 record, Charles Murray is a natural contender for the Junior Welterweight Championship. He's rebounded from his only loss to win 4 straight, and he's close to getting a shot at a world title. For Charles the Natural Murray, every fight is crucial in his quest to be champion. Standing in his way tonight is tough, hard-hitting Sammy Fuentes. What comes natural for him is throwing his powerful punches and scoring knockouts. Sammy Fuentes against Charles Murray. It's a natural, and you'll see it tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Top Rank Boxing. I'm Sam Rosen, filling in once again for Barry Tompkins, who is midway through the Tour de France. It's halftime.
He's lost somewhere in Bordeaux, I think.
And once again, working with the Prince of Pugilism, Al Bernstein. And even as we speak, they're awaiting his arrival in Barcelona. His last show with us